morning. Right. It is Tuesday, the 28th of January, which means time's flying by at an unreasonable rate. I feel as if it's just went poof. Anyway, what am I here for this morning? I'm here to say hello, and you'll notice I'm on my beautiful big bike. It's a great place to be. I've missed it so much. That was over 2 weeks without it. Obviously, a week of that I was in Sweden, so that was fine, but obviously I come back expecting to get the bike back, and I didn't, so, but it's okay. It's cost me a small fortune. One of my subs, I don't know if it was a sub, might not have been a sub, might have just been a complainer, was on telling me how rubbish BMWs are. I could have bought another bike for that money and all that, and there's an argument to that. I could have, but what would I have been able to buy? So it cost me £3,100. What could I have bought for £3,100? I could have added it to this bike and bought another bike. Maybe get 6,000 for this, get 9 grand. I'm still buying a second-hand bike, especially one like this, which is 25 grand new. So would I be buying more problems? I don't know. Anyway, the point of the matter is, before I spent any extra money, I'd already agreed to get the clutch and the wheel fixed. The clutch done, and the back bearings done, sorry, the bearing, pivot arm bearings. And and the brakes. Now, I'd agreed that with BMW. I'd already paid money out, and unfortunately the tech found an oil leak from the rear shock, and that's when the thing started to go, oh no. So I'd already committed, they'd already done work, and I'd already going to have to pay the money out. I had got in deep, and I thought either get in deeper, go to full hog and get the bike completely done, or I'm throwing away money for nothing. Now, I don't think I've thrown away money for nothing, because the bike's now riding like an absolute brand new machine. Both sets of brakes have been done, pistons have been replaced in the front brakes, as well as the discs front and back, and pads front and back. The swing arm, pivot bearing and hub bearing have been replaced. The front wheel has been repaired. The clutch has been replaced, and I've done a bit of general maintenance around the bike as well, just changing the oil and oil filter and stuff. So it's had a comprehensive list of things done to it. But that comprehensive list of things has made it feel like a completely new machine. I mean, it really feels tight, the brakes feel amazing, the gearbox feels so much better. It's quite surprisingly better, which also affects the quick shifter, which feels brilliant. I mean, quick shifter's going up great, no hassle. Is it as smooth as the one in the F800 GS? Not quite, but that was a brand new bike. But it's smoother than it was, it's still good, I'm happy with it. In fact, the mechanic was telling me that he prefers the quick shifters in these older 1200RTs and GSs than the ones in the 1300s. He didn't have a lot of great things to say about the 1300, which was interesting. Didn't go into massive amounts of detail, but as a technician, as somebody that works on the bikes day in, day out, he didn't have a particular love of the 1300 GS. He is a huge fan of sticking with the 12 and the 1250 models. So there you go. But the back shock makes such a difference. Having a new back shock, it's not brand new, it's off a 2019 bike. A 2019 bike that's done hardly any miles. It was accident damaged and stored in a garage, so the shock looks new for want a better way to put it, and while it feels so much better, I did say that I noticed on New Year's Day that I thought the back of the bike felt a bit bouncy when Charlotte was on the back, and I suppose that explains why. There was no oil in the shock, and of course it's an electronically adjustable system, so any adjustments I had done never really made any difference, so there we go. So yep, shock, pairings, wheel, clutch, the brake discs, brake pads, pistons in the front. It's a lot of work and a lot of money, but yep, I am happy. I am hoping to be able to keep this bike for years to come. I'm not one for changing my bike all the time. When I find a bike that I love, I tend to hang on to it, and I love this. I did love my Hayabusa, but I was commuting every day in Hayabusa and I was getting an achy neck and arms, sitting in traffic all the time. Yeah. So when I decided to take the plunge and buy a big bike like this, I always hated these bikes. I always thought, no, never going to own an RT, police bikes, bollocks, bollocks. You see them in the IAM and all that kind of thing. I love it. So I'm a total hypocrite. My favourite bike, best bike I've ever owned, by far. So there we go. Don't get me wrong, I still miss the Hayabusa. And if money wasn't an object, I'd probably have a brand new Hayabusa sitting in the garage right now, or a Gen 2. Which would be my plaything. Or even a Fireblade, but not the newest Fireblades. I think my oldest the latest Fireblade I had was a 2002, one of the first fuel injected models. So I've got a lot of plans for the bike this year, and a lot of plans for biking stuff on the channel, as well as all the music stuff that's going to be coming over, but that's very relevant to my life with Sarah. So if you're just here for the bikes, please bear with me. The bikes are still coming, bike content is still going to be coming, but the music charity single and all that sort of thing, that's very important. As I say, that was something that was discussed with Sarah. It's her legacy, and I think it would be really appropriate to share it on this channel on the anniversary of her death. So that's the plan. But bike content wise, well, let me think, what can I say here? Got a few things. I wonder if I can whiz to the front of the queue. What do you think? I could totally fit, couldn't I? Tight? No? Manageable? Yeah. Right, so what was I talking about there? No idea. I was talking about the things I've got coming up. Right, oh, look at the state of these roads. No wonder we end up with damaged wheels. Yeah, I basically plan to start getting out as soon as possible. Obviously at this time of year when it's like 3 degrees, I'm probably not going to risk going up Duke's Pass and country roads and all these places. It's just a bit dangerous, but as soon as the weather improves a bit, then that's something I will most likely be doing. Big Gordon will hopefully be joining me in a few day trips, and in some cases I'll have Charlotte on the back as well. Oops. So the first kind of trips coming up will be local. I am going away in June to the Pyrenees. Me, myself and Big G are heading off on that trip. That's one of the reasons why I wanted this bike absolutely minted. It was important to me to make sure it was minted and ready for such a trip. So I would say it's ready. It's going to get serviced in May anyway, and the mechanic, the tech, Stephen's going to be doing the servicing for me. So he's been doing all the work on the bike, and he's going to get it serviced and ready for my European adventures. Sometimes you've just got to be cheeky with the traffic. Sometimes. The Pyrenees are going to be great. I'm going to break that down into a series, and that's of course with the one and only Teapot one. That's Chicken Strips Tours. So I am going to make that into a whole series of videos. I think that'll be really good. I've never been abroad, never done a European trip or anything like that on a motorbike, so this is going to be a first for me. I want to do the NC500 again, but I think if I'm doing it again I'll probably do it quite a bit differently. On the NC500 I was under quite a lot of influence of what's the word I'm looking for here? Grief. So it was difficult just to let my hair down and enjoy the trip properly, and I think doing it again maybe this summer, which is like 18 months on since, well, 16 months on since Sarah's passing, I might be in a bit more of a better frame of mind. So I would like to revisit that. My hands are absolutely burning here. I'll turn these grips down, see if that helps. Why did I come this way? It's nothing but traffic hassle. If this car had positioned himself better, I could have whizzed up the inside here. It's a bit of a pain in the arse, isn't it? Oh, thank you, mate. Sometimes I come in this way because I just think it's the motorway's jammed up all the way from Paisley. My gloves got bits hanging out it. Paisley to Glasgow, and it's just frustrating. It's like wacky races. So sometimes coming this way, a wee bit different scenery, stop start, can sit in here and have a wee chat, and it's nice. Whereas on the motorway sometimes it's difficult to chat the same because I'm just concentrating so hard and filtering and trying not to get splattered, which I'm sure would not be a good thing right now. Yeah, so the Pyrenees NC500 is something I want to do again. Even if I don't get the full NC500 done, it'd be nice to do part of it, go camping, and I think that'll be awesome. As well as other camping trips, obviously, because there's every weekend. I'm off every weekend, so it'd be nice to disappear if it's a sunny Friday, and the weather's appropriate. I can just grab my tent and just head off. I don't have the Lone Rider tent anymore. That was a big waste of money. It's quite high around outside, so when you're sitting in the sort of front area and it's quite windy, it can be quite cold, whereas my sister's tent was a sealed ground sheet, so it was much warmer. So I'm back to using my old Vango tent that Sarah and I had from years ago, the wee two-man job. We used to carry it in the caravan, but yeah, I found it a couple of weeks ago when I was cleaning out studio. Right, any other information for you? Any more news? Don't think so. Motorists blocking the road to drop their children off at schools. I am so much happy with the quick shifter on this, I've got to say. It's so much more usable about town. I mean, I use the quick shifter all the time, I love it. Very quick gear changes, it's brilliant. Put a wee notice up on social media. The song that we're doing for charity, which is going to be myself, my two daughters, and the Beatson Choir, as well as other instrumentalists, guitarists, bass guitarists, drummers and stuff, is a Coldplay song, Fix You. We were doing 11 years by Making the Mechanics, but we've had a bit of grief over monetisation and all that and stuff, so a bit of a pain in the bum, but managed to resolve a lot of things. So it's now Fix You by Coldplay, and my hope and aim is that, like I said, is to get money. So the thing is, it's going to be linked to Just Giving page or whatever it is that the Beatson Cancer Charity will use for fundraising. But if it's on YouTube and I manage to break the 1,000 subscriber barrier, which I'm hoping to do by the end of April, then there's a possibility of some monetisation from it, and my plan for that is just to put it directly to the charity. And it'd be nice to have something up there on video that Coldplay don't claim the copyright on, that can generate a small amount of money, and that small amount of money can continuously feed to the charity. I think that would be good. That's perpetually providing donations, which has got to be a good thing. So that's the idea behind that, and that was the issue we had with Mike and the Mechanics song with our management, who weren't very cooperative or considerate or anything, which is a shame, but never mind. But that's my focus over the next few months: bike content and putting the song together, and that's pretty much it. Of course, Charlotte's moving over this weekend. She sold her business and she's pretty much homeless. We had a whole idea of a different timeline when all this started, and that timeline would have been like September this year. Well, that's completely blown out the window. But you know what? I don't care. Life's too short, and I'm going to just take it. I'm just going to take what's in front of me and embrace it. And she can come over, and yeah, fine, brilliant. She can't afford to sit and live in Airbnbs indefinitely. That would be ridiculous, wouldn't it? So that's the plan. So I'll have Charlotte with me soon, and that's me getting the chance to share my life with another lovely, beautiful woman. So happy days. I've had a bit of ugliness about this whole thing, but you know what? I don't care. I don't have to prove myself to anybody. I love Sarah. I miss her. I've got her memories, her legacy. I cared for her 24/7. Did everything for her, everything a husband should do. None of her family done anything for her. None of them. I did it all. So there you go. I don't feel guilty. I don't care. If you don't like it, then you know what to do. And those of you that are still here, brilliant. Thank you for sticking with me. I actually put a big post up in a community forum for bereaved spouses, which is something I started way back when Sarah died, because I needed to talk, and I didn't have anyone to talk to that I felt that I could talk to as openly as I wanted to. And Sarah's mum and dad weren't interested in sitting having chats with me about anything, so that was a complete out the window. And I found this community forum within Macmillan Cancer Research, not Macmillan Cancer Support, sorry. And it was a forum for people that had lost their spouses, and we chatted and supported each other and did all that. So I decided last night to tell them my story, and that's the obvious story with Charlotte and everything that went on. And I've had nothing but an outpouring of love and support from people that are in the same situation as me. People telling me to grab it, that it's wonderful. It's just lovely to get that support from people that actually do know what I've went through. And I know there's people on this channel, there's subscribers on this channel that know exactly what I've dealt with, and my heart goes out to you, and I thank you for your support. It's amazing. But yeah, there's too many people out there that think that they know everything. Armchair judges, armchair critics. This is going to be a bit tight, so right, I am going to have to try and fight my way through this crap, which is the M74/M8 motorway. Thank you. Technically I'm on the M74, and that's the M8, and it's divided by the tight white lines there. Charlotte and I are going to get a car. Don't know what type of car yet, but it'll be an older used car. Well, tight. What do you think? Will I go for it? Okay. Oh, 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 oh. As long as I'm watching them and I've got an escape plan, I'm happy. Fuck it, I'm going through here. I mean, this is what I would have faced all the way from Paisley, so that little jaunt up the sort of main road was relaxing, stress-free. I don't find riding stressful as such, but I don't enjoy this filtering constantly. Half of these motorists sit there with blinkers on, or they're on their mobile phone, and there's that one pulling into my look. Wandering across the lane as you're just about to pass. And an awful lot of motorists or people out there think that this is illegal. It's not. Not even a bit. I mean, obviously if I was coming through here at 70 mile an hour, that could be seen as being incredibly stupid, unsafe, and yes, may warrant a big talking to from a copper, but doing it properly, it's not illegal. And this congestion here is all caused by poor, really poor lane discipline and planning. But I'm not going to get into that. Anyway, I've said enough this morning. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great Tuesday. And I shall catch you on the next one. Ta-ta, bye.